All right, this is 7.2, Solving Inequalities Using Addition, Subtraction, Multiplication, and Division. So last week we looked at graphing out inequalities. This week we need to do a little bit of solving and then we can graph them out. So what we're going to do is solve these inequalities, graph them out, and then check our answers. So let's look at example 1. We have 8 is less than or equal to x minus 2.5. So we're going to solve these inequalities the same way we do equations, right? We need to see what's being done to the variable, and then we do the opposite. So we have x minus 2.5. So if I want to get rid of that minus 2.5, I want to do the opposite and add 2.5, because this will cancel out here. And if I do it on one side of the inequality, I need to do it to the other side. So I need to add 2.5 over here on the left side. So I'm left with 10.5 is less than or equal to x. All right, from here, it's the same as last week. We can just go ahead and graph this out. So let's do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Looks like we're 10 and a half, so it looks like we're right here. So the steps to graphing out an inequality, we want to circle the number that we're comparing, determine if it's opened or closed circle. The line underneath our symbol here means or equal to, so we need to fill this in. And then we can just look at what is the mouth eating? Is it eating the number or the variable? In this case, it is eating the variable. That means x must be bigger. Bigger numbers go to the right. Okay, and we can check this. So we can just take, so the x is represented by anything on the blue line. So the blue line represents the values that x can be. So we can just pick one of those numbers and see if it makes sense. So let's pick 13 for this one. So is this true? 10.5 is less than or equal to 13. Sure enough, that's true. Right, the mouth would be eating the bigger number. 13 is clearly bigger than 10 and a half. So we know we're correct. We did that right. All right, example 2, we've got g plus 4.2 is less than 5.6. So we want to get rid of that 4.2. To do so by doing the opposite of addition, we will subtract. We're going to subtract 4.2 on both sides. On the left side, I'm just left with g is less than 5.6 minus 4.2 is 1.4. All right, let's graph this out. Let's do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1.4, so we're in between 1 and 2, so I'm going to go a little bit less than half there. Circle this. Determine if it's open or closed. There is no line underneath our symbol, so it does not include 1.4, so we'll keep it open. And now we just look at the inequality symbol in terms of what's the mouth eating, right? It's eating the mouth, it's eating the number. That means the variable must be smaller. Smaller numbers go to the left. All right, and of course we can check that out. Let's pick 1. Okay, is 1 less than 1.4? Sure enough, it is. Okay, all right, let's move on. Example 3, we have 4h is greater than negative 16. Well, this is really 4 times h, so we're going to do the inverse operation and divide by 4. Divide by 4 on one side, get it to the other side, so I'm left with 1h is greater than negative 4, and now we can graph it out. So we're dealing with negatives, so we're going to go negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. All right, let's circle the number that we're comparing. Determine if it's open or closed. It is open because there's no line underneath. And the mouth is eating the variable. That must mean that the variable is bigger. Bigger numbers are to the right. All right, example 2, we have 2 is greater than or equal to r over 5, or r divided by 5. So if I want to undo this operation, I do the inverse operation and I multiply by 5. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of show you guys what this would do if I solved it out. This would be r times 5, which would just be 5r, and 5 times 1 is 5. And we have 5 over 5, that would reduce down to 1, okay? But that's hopefully a step that we don't even need to write out. We should recognize that if I multiply by something in the denominator, it will cancel out. All right, and if I do it on one side, I need to do it to the other side. So I'm left with 5 times 2, which is 10, is greater than or equal to r. All right, so let's graph this one out. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Let's circle the number that we're comparing. Determine if it's open or closed. The line underneath means it's closed. It includes 10. And the mouth is eating the number. That must mean the variable is smaller. Smaller numbers go to the left. All right, moving on. Example number 5 is negative 7h is greater than 42. All right, so this is really important here. To undo this operation, we need to divide by negative 7. Divide by negative 7. So here we have this rule. When you multiply or divide by a negative to solve an inequality, you must flip the sign. Okay, so if I divide by negative 7 on both sides here, I'm left with a positive 1h. And 42 divided by negative 7 is negative 6. But it's very important. We started with a greater than symbol. We need to turn this around. We need to flip it and make it a less than symbol. All right, really important that you remember that. All right, so now we have h is less than negative 6. So let's see, let's do negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. Let's circle the number that we're comparing, determine if it's open or closed. It is open. It's not less than or equal to, it's just less than. And the mouth is eating the negative 6, and that must mean that h is smaller. Smaller numbers go to the left. Okay, number 6 here, we have 3 is greater than or equal to negative r over 15. Okay, so if I want to solve this, I want to solve this for a positive r. So I need to multiply this by a negative 15 to solve. Because if I multiply here by a negative, I will be left with a positive 1r. Okay, and if I do it to one side, I need to do it to the other side. So I need to multiply negative 15 times 3, which is negative 45. And I just multiplied by a negative to solve. So we have to remember our rule here. So we started with greater than or equal to. We need to flip this to a less than or equal to sign. So negative 45 is less than or equal to r. So now we can graph that out. We got negative 46, negative 45, negative 44, negative 43. All right, so let's graph this out. Let's circle the number that we're comparing, determine if it's open or closed. It is closed because it's less than or equal to, so it includes negative 45. And let's draw the line. So the mouth is eating the variable. That means the variable must be bigger. Bigger numbers go to the right. Write the verbal sentence as an equality, then solve and graph. Okay, so number 7 says the quotient of y and negative 3 is greater than or equal to 12. Okay, so quotient means divide. So the quotient of y and negative 3 is greater than, so this is greater than or equal to 12. Looks right to me. So now we need to undo this division. So I need to multiply by negative 3. Now, if I multiply, I'm going to put a little asterisk there. If I multiply by a negative to solve, I need to switch the sign. And now if I multiply by negative 3 on one side, I need to do it on the other side. So I'm left with negative 36. So we have y is less than or equal to negative 36. So let's put negative 36 in the middle here, do negative 34, and negative 38 here. Okay, so let's circle the number that we're comparing, determine if it's open or closed. It is closed because it is less than or equal to. And Now we see which is the mouth eating. The mouth is eating the negative 36. That must mean y is smaller. Smaller numbers go to the left. All right, number 8. The difference of b and 12 is less than negative 5. Difference means subtract. So this is going to be b minus 12 is less than negative 5. All right, so let's go ahead and solve this one here. B minus 12, we've got to do the inverse operation and multiply by 12. Do it to one side, got to do it to the other side. So I'm left with B on the one side and negative 5 plus 12 is 7. Don't need to switch the sign here. That's just for multiplication and division of a negative. So we just have B is less than 7. All right, so let's do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Circle the number that we're comparing, 7. Determine if it's open or closed. It is open because it does not include 7. And the mouth is eating the 7. That means the variable is smaller. Smaller numbers go to the left. All right. That's pretty much it for this week, guys. I think you guys should do pretty well with this. We've got 2 kind of prep problems. So why don't you pause the video and give these 2 a shot. All right, let's see how you did. So we have negative 12 is greater than negative 6 times h. So I need to undo this multiplication by division. And so I'm left with positive 2 and h. But I'm going to put a little asterisk here because I divided by a negative to solve. I need to switch that sign. So now it's going to be 2 is less than h. All right, so let's go ahead and graph this out. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Circle the number that we're comparing. Determine if it's open or closed. No line underneath, so it's open. And the mouth is eating the variable. That means the variable is bigger. Bigger numbers go to the right. All right, and number 2, this one's a little bit tricky because we have negative 12 plus h. But if we want to get rid of this negative 12, we would need to add 12. Okay, because we want to get rid of it. We want to eliminate it on one side. All right, if we do it on one side, got to do it to the other side. So I'm left with h is less than or equal to 12. Not 12. 12 plus 8. There we go. 20. All right, so now we can graph this out. How about 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23? Circle the number that we're comparing. Determine if it's open or closed. Line underneath, so it's included. And the mouth is eating the 20. That must mean that h is smaller. Smaller numbers go to the left. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Let's give these practice problems a shot. If you need help, watch my video. If you need more help, come see me. Later.